Hello everyone, Jonathan Schlack, EAS&Weather here, the severe weather update for the Day 1 Outlook. We have two areas where we have a slight risk for severe weather today. We have one slight risk area up here that covers parts of south central North Dakota, much of South Dakota, and north central Nebraska. And we have another slight risk area today that covers parts of southeastern Illinois, southern Indiana, and central Kentucky. And we have a very broad margin risk area today that covers much of North Dakota, western and far eastern South Dakota, much of Nebraska, much of Minnesota, most of Iowa, most of Wisconsin, parts of the western panhandle of upper Michigan, southwestern Michigan, eastern Missouri, all of Illinois, most of Indiana, southwestern Ohio, most of Kentucky, southwestern West Virginia, southwestern Virginia, the eastern half of Tennessee, and I think I mentioned most of Kentucky. Yeah, I think I did. It also goes into western North Carolina, northwestern South Carolina, northern half of Georgia, and northeastern Alabama. Going to the Mid-Atlantic now, we have a small margin risk area today that covers southeastern Pennsylvania, central and southern New Jersey, most of Delaware, and eastern Maryland. So, going to the tornado threat for today, we have two areas where we have a 2% chance of an isolated tornado today. One that covers south central North Dakota, most of South Dakota, and north central Nebraska. And another area where we have a 2% chance of an isolated tornado today covers far northeastern Missouri, most of Illinois, southwestern Michigan, most of Indiana, southwestern Ohio, a lot of Kentucky, and north central Tennessee. Going to the wind threat for today, we have two areas where we have a 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today. One that covers south central North Dakota, much of South Dakota, and north central Nebraska. Another area where we have a 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today covers southeastern Illinois, southern Indiana, and central Kentucky. Now if we go up here to the black dashed areas, the black dashed areas encompasses south central North Dakota, central South Dakota, and north central Nebraska. If you're within the black dashed areas, that's where we have a 10% chance of seeing hurricane-force wind gusts of 74 miles per hour or higher within the black dashed areas from thunderstorms. Again, that black dashed area, which is a hatched area anyway, is where we have a 10% chance of seeing damaging wind gusts or hurricane-force wind gusts of 74 miles per hour or higher from thunderstorms within the black dashed area. So, going to a broader view, we have a broad area where we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher. Don't mind if it's updated on me, but again, 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today covers much of North Dakota, western and far eastern South Dakota, most of Nebraska, most of Nebraska. Most of Minnesota, most of Iowa, eastern Missouri, most of Wisconsin, the western half of the upper panhandle of upper Michigan, southwestern Michigan, and I think I mentioned most of Wisconsin. It also goes into all of Illinois, most of Indiana, southwestern Ohio, pretty much most of Kentucky, southwestern West Virginia, southwestern Virginia, eastern half of Tennessee, western North Carolina, northwestern South Carolina, northern Georgia, and northeastern Alabama. Going to the Mid-Atlantic, we have a small area where we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher that covers southeastern Pennsylvania, central and southern New Jersey, most of Delaware, and eastern Maryland. Now going to the hail, we have a 15% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger today that covers parts of south central North Dakota, central South Dakota, and north central Nebraska. Now, if you look at the black dashed areas, that encompasses parts of south central North Dakota, central South Dakota, and north central Nebraska. The black dashed areas is where we have a 10% chance of seeing hail of 2 inches in diameter or larger today. Again, that black dashed area encompasses south central North Dakota, central South Dakota, and north central Nebraska. Again, within the black dashed areas, that's where we have a 10% chance of seeing hail of 2 inches in diameter or larger. So, going to a broader picture here, we have 3 areas where we have a 5% chance of seeing hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger today. One that covers much of North Dakota, western Minnesota, western and eastern South Dakota, northwestern Iowa, and most of Nebraska. Another area where we have a 5% chance of seeing hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger today covers pretty much the southern half of Illinois, the southern half of Indiana, most of Kentucky, and far north central Tennessee. And the third area where we have a 5% chance of seeing hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger today covers southeastern Pennsylvania, central and southern New Jersey, most of Delaware, and eastern Maryland. So, going over to the summary, scattered strong to severe storms are possible across parts of the central northern plains this afternoon and evening, and also across parts of the Midwest and Ohio Valley through the day. So, that's the Day 1 Outlook. I'm going to have a separate video in the Day 2 Outlook very soon, so stay tuned for the Day 2 Outlook, which will come out very soon.